losing millions on top of millions of dollars because of my blog post. $1 million.
What's up, everybody? Andrew Steele here. A lot of you don't know the whole David Bott Winnebago story.
Knowing that Winnebago owns Newmar, we are unlikely now to buy a Newmar product.
But I wanted to shed some light on this story because it has come up in a recent video that got a lot of views. There's three sides to every story.
It's a big shock to us. We didn't see this one coming.
So I want to kind of tell you guys a little bit about David Bott's whole situation, where Winnebago told him that they didn't think that they would be able to build a coach that would be up to his quality. He, in 2013, had a Winnebago 42 GD on order and created a blog post that, in his own words, cost Winnebago millions of dollars.
$1 million.
And recently, he made another video that got 10,000 views, the sky is falling kind of video, because Winnebago bought Newmar.
We are shocked. We are amazed. We are saddened.
He basically ranted at, why he thinks that privately owned companies are the only way to go.
Gotta make the stockholders happy.
I think that there may be a little bit of a bias.
And because of what they did to us,
when David made that video, and I wanted to just kind of shed some light and fill in some of the gaps on his situation. He made this blog post, but he's a YouTuber and has a YouTube channel and talks about his beef with Winnebago on his YouTube channel, but he's never really made a whole YouTube video explaining it.
For those of you who's been with us for the longest time, we did choose Winnebago at one point.
He just doesn't want to rehash it out, is kind of what I've heard.
It was appalling. Anyways, we're not going to rehash old wounds, but it's...
I've asked him to make another video on this subject just to kind of clarify things.
Our decision of what happened to us directly came down from the CEO.
And shed some more light on that situation. And
corporate decision.
And it was by the CEO, by the way.
And explain to people why he, is so against Winnebago.
We're sad that Winnebago bought Newmar. We're more sad because of what Winnebago did to us.
I want to go over his blog post today. I want to go over this video. When you have a huge subscriber base like David Bott, and you make statements that may cause companies millions of dollars.
That's just us, though. We have a slight little, bias.
It's fair game. So David didn't understand why I made another video recap of my whole Newmar interview. So this was the text that I got from David Bott after the interview from Newmar. David Bott was a little bit critical of my interview with the Newmar executive. This was the text message. Hey Andrew, nice interview with Newmar. Trying to be nice, opening it. Right away. You forgot to ask them very important questions of, why would you guys want to settle a company that does not clearly care about the consumer at all? Look at what they did to David and Brenda Bott of Outside Our Bubble. Has Winnie changed their ways? Are they going to make that right by them at this point? Of course, to put a positive spin to any sale like this. After all, it's now stockholders based, and if he said something that was going to be a negative, that would cause the stock to drop. Well, he'd get out of a job. I find it funny that people keep sending me emails about your video, pointing it to me, and how they believe the guy was just blowing smoke. First of all, you want me to take my interview with a Newmar executive and just put him in the hot seat and just put him under the fire and bring up David Bott from Outside Our Bubble after they just sold, and it was the first public press statement. I've never seen them ever interview any executives on their channel. So for him to be critical of me and then to text me, why didn't I do this? I only felt that it was right in my recap video to bring up his situation and shed some light on his whole Winnebago situation. He took the top shelf Winnebago product and tried to treat it like it was a Rolls Royce. And this guy, he says, you made us come off that we're picky. Yeah, I was always taught growing up that 3% of customers, no matter what you do, you're never going to be able to make them happy. I think that's the reason that the executive at Winnebago didn't want to work with them and told them that he couldn't build a product up to his standard. Winnebago has been making coaches for a long time, or why they didn't think they were able to make a coach good enough for you. Let's take a look at David Bott's blog post. The main problem that he had was like a bent axle and bent suspension, and I think there probably was some problems with David's coach. I agree, I've seen some of the videos, like some stuff wasn't attached fully right. And I think that if David would have approached the situation differently, Winnebago would have stepped up and made that right. But when David just bombards them, picking apart every little paint issue and basically expecting a Prevost paint job on a Winnebago, they realize that, you know, they're building a consumer grade product. And yes, there are definitely some quality errors, and I think David Bott has done some good by shedding some light to the quality control issues in the industry. But where it went wrong was he was way too picky. He's got this blog, and basically he comes in with this attitude like, oh, if you don't bow down to me and kiss my ring.
He always gave Winnebago the chance to come back and talk with us.
I'll light you up on the internet like I did to Winnebago.
Versus losing millions on top of millions of dollars because of my blog post.
So, you know, he comes at vendors with that attitude, and it's funny because he realized when he got 86 from Winnebago in the past, where he was very critical, he kind of realized that, hey, I better be really cool, because if I just start, you know, nitpicking everybody, nobody's going to want to do business with me, and I'm not going to be able to buy an RV. I'm not going to be able to get my motorhome washed. And I think he's actually come around a lot. He's actually a lot cooler. And I want to make this specific, that this is about David. His wife, Brenda, is super cool, super chill, always friendly, always waves, is always nice, has never ever nitpicked anything or come off like that. And if you watch the videos, David's definitely the one that's more about quality control. So I got no beef with Brenda, super nice gal, but David definitely can come off a certain way. And in that video, I was just basically trying to shed light, and I wish that David would have kind of just taken a step back and said, you know what, maybe I was a little bit critical of Winnebago. And when I came with all these complaints, such as, here's the list of complaints. I'm gonna read it to you. We received a call on July 27th, 2013 from Winnebago that they did not think that they would be able to repair the coach new off the line to our satisfaction. That more or less told us something was clearly not right. When I was inquiring about just building a new one, seeing that this one was so poorly made, the reply came back that they did not think that they would be able to build a coach that we would accept. Is Winnebago no longer able to produce a quality product based on their recent sales volumes? No, Winnebago can build a quality product, but when you expect a product and you nitpick every little thing, you make it so it's not worth it for them to build motorhomes. If everybody wants to start acting like David Bott, we would just shut the whole motorhome industry down, or the cost would double, one or the other. But when you try to get something at a discounted price and then try to hold them, it's kind of that, you know, champagne taste on a beer budget. He's basically buying a Winnebago. That's like the Chevy of RVs. And he has Rolls-Royce expectations. He's treating this thing like it's a Liberty coach. He wants everything to be perfect. And yeah, $400,000 is a lot of money, but there's a reason that they make RVs that are $2.4 million. You know, he says have the coach weighed, and the axle weight was 13,880, and it only had a max weight of 14,600. So it's 800 pounds below the rating. So yes, if you load stuff up, you probably want to be very careful at how much you load up. It's got a point there. They stopped making the 42 GD. Some items may seem trivial, but all in all adds up to frustration and lack of care. Again, some of this may seem silly. It may seem silly and it may seem trivial. Well, there's your start, David. That's one of the reasons why Winnebago didn't want to work with you. Various paint issues, from thumb mark to white specks under the clear coat. So he's not going to accept their paint. He wants a whole new repaint. We're talking at least 30, 40 grand. End caps on awnings not painted with a few other missing parts. You know, this is minor stuff. Now, if he would have made a blog post all about the main issues of why it's, you know, they may have taken it more seriously, but you lose all your credibility when you start nitpicking everything. Outside TV is not Samsung. Was replaced by a lesser brand. All right, you know, first world problems here. 3M Shield has scratches, white specks under it, you know, haziness on top drive slide corner. Black seal under the window is very poor on a number of windows. Caulking issues. This is minor stuff. Compressed cooling fins from something that got in the way when something was installed. And that's, you know, radiator fins. You want your radiator fins. That's a legit deal. Moisture inside of back driver tail light. You know, it's just a bad seal. Yes, this stuff should be fixed, but this is not sky is falling stuff. And again, I'm not saying he should have accepted delivery of the coach. If he wouldn't have been so critical about some of these other things, they probably would have had more attention to give him on the bigger thing. Backup camera has noise in the video feed. I mean, I get it. Winnebago probably put a lower end backup camera. He's an audio video guy, so the feed had some sort of a noise that bothered him. 4 wires for the front LEDs had not sealed and exposed elements. Independent front suspension bent on passenger side will need to be replaced and the front realigned based on how long this part takes to come in. We will need new front tires. Inside, screen door is not flush as it's sprung and bent, even to the point of scraping paint off the door frame. I understand. The dashboard is discolored and marred in several places, will not clean off. The step cover was moving, and if he had more video to just show all this. He's got 2 videos that are just, nobody's narrating it. You don't know what's going on. You just kind of see a couple minor problems. Wood on the left side of the fridge was not finished. Most drawers have unfinished or poorly made wood on the sides. All the under cabinet lights are not flush. Couch arm on the extension part that you pull out is broken as if it was crushed. Couch rounded back does not line up with the seat backs. And we're talking all these little gaps and stuff. It doesn't line up. And ceiling wood treatment stain is poorly matched. The wood treatment stain is poorly matched between the 2 sections. Ceiling vinyl near TV looks like it was ripped and then poorly repaired. Main 55-inch TV is not level. Main TV does not cover the wood and lights under it. Fireplace tile not aligned. Around the fireplace itself is not cleanly installed. There's gaps. Computer table, top not nicely finished. It's rough. Bedroom dresser, the top is rough. Bathroom countertop backsplash on the left has a 2/8 inch gap that's not sealed. Washer dryer cabinet is not aligned, more than an inch off at the top. Bathroom wall is not attached and is pulling apart at the tape of the scene. That's something, I saw the video of it and it seemed like that needed to be more secure. That may be a legit complaint. Jacks levels would not retract without controller being reset. Put the jacks down, would not come up, even though they said they were up. That's an issue. Counter next to dining room table is coming all the way from wall. After drive test, large noise. Kitchen counter area. Dishwasher will not stay locked. Washer dryer will not stay closed while driving. So, I mean, I just listed all these problems, and what happens is choose your battles, people, because if you don't, you're going to end up like David Bott, and you're going to just nitpick the top of the line diesel pusher of a production brand that's not known for build quality, and you're trying to hold them to the highest level of build quality. You're gonna have a tough time. So that's my whole opinion on David Bott's whole blog post. I think he was just being too picky, and that's what he said. He said, I made him sound like they were too picky. Yes, David, you are too picky. So hey, it's the internet, it's 2019. He tries really hard to spin things positive. And if you notice, in the last 4 or 5 years, he's never ripped anybody on YouTube because he learned his lesson that if you rip people too hard, they're gonna ban you and they're not gonna wanna do business with you. So he already took down my videos that he had in support of my business, so I don't think he wants to do business with me anymore. I'm all good with it. I did just fine before David Bott. I'll do just fine after him. And like I said in previous videos, if all customers were like David Bott, we wouldn't be able to make any money. So I'm keeping it real with you guys. We'll see how much hate I get from this video, but really appreciate all of you that are watching, and I'm just gonna keep it real. Hope you're all having a great day.